I always knew my sister would find a way to steal the spotlight, even on my wedding day. That's just how Rachel is. She's always the center of attention, at least in our family's eyes. But I never imagined she'd actually take my wedding dress. My name is Kelly. I've spent 29 years being the other daughter. I'm the practical one, the dependable one, not the exciting, amazing one like Rachel. Tonight is Rachel's engagement party, and it feels like I'm watching a movie I've seen too many times. "Oh, sweetheart, you look stunning," Mom says, adjusting Rachel's hair with a proud smile. Henry is such a great guy. I knew he was the one the moment I met him. I take another sip of champagne, trying not to think about how Mom barely reacted when I got engaged to Adam 7 months ago. All she said was, "He seems nice enough." "Kelly, can you grab more appetizers from the kitchen?" Dad calls out, not even looking at me. Of course. Even at Rachel's party, I'm the one doing chores. "I'll help," Adam whispers, gently squeezing my hand. I love him so much for that. In the kitchen, I start placing crackers and cheese on a tray while Adam opens another bottle of wine. "You okay?" he asks softly, concern in his eyes. "I'm fine," I say, but then pause. I don't want to sound like a jealous teenager. Sometimes I wonder if my family even notices me at all. He pulls me into a hug. His chest is warm against my cheek. "I see you," he says. "You're the most amazing person I know." A loud laugh comes from the living room. I peek around the corner and see Rachel holding a glass of champagne, telling a story to a group of people. She's talking about her perfect proposal. Henry got down on one knee right in Bryant Park while a string quartet played our song. It was like a fairy tale. Mom wipes away a tear. It was so magical. I remember Adam's proposal. It wasn't fancy, but it was real. He made dinner at home, and while we danced in our small living room, he nervously asked me to marry him. It was sweet and perfect. Mom's response back then? "At least you're finally settling down, Kelly." Suddenly, Rachel's voice cuts through my thoughts. "Where are those appetizers?" Everyone's hungry. I take a deep breath, pick up the tray, and walk back out with my best supportive sister smile. That's when I hear it, the one conversation that changes everything. Speaking of the wedding, Rachel says to Mom, lowering her voice like she's telling a secret, "I was thinking about Kelly's dress," Rachel said. I froze just outside the doorway. "The one she bought for her wedding?" Mom asked. "It really is beautiful." "She's not getting married until next year anyway," Rachel replied. "My wedding is in 4 months, and that dress would be perfect for my garden ceremony. It's just sitting in her closet." "I'm sure she wouldn't mind," Mom said. "You are her sister, and it would look amazing on you." My hands tightened around the platter I was holding. That dress wasn't just fabric to me. I had spent months looking for it. The moment I saw it, I knew it was the one. I had worked hard and saved my own money to buy it, because Mom refused to help me pay for it like she did for Rachel. "I'll talk to her about it tomorrow," Rachel said, sounding so sure. She always understands. I walked into the room and set the platter down harder than I meant to. Some of the crackers jumped, and a few people turned to look. "Everything okay, sweetie?" Dad asked, finally looking in my direction. I looked straight at Rachel. She looked a little guilty, but her eyes had that same smug look she always had, the one that said she knew she would get what she wanted. "Everything's fine," I said, my voice calm even though I was angry inside. "Just perfect." My best friend Emma looked at me from across the room. She knows me well and could see something was off. She raised her eyebrow, asking me silently if I was okay. I gave her a tiny shake of my head, not now. Because as I stood there, watching Rachel soak in everyone's praise like she always did, something changed inside me. All those years of being ignored, of being the second choice, of always stepping aside, suddenly became clear in that one moment. She wants my wedding dress? Fine. But this time, things won't go the way she expects. This time, I won't be the quiet, understanding sister. I won't be the practical one who always moves out of the way. This time, her perfect day is about to hit a bump. The next morning, I was folding laundry when the doorbell rang. I already knew who it was. Rachel never waits when she wants something. Kelly, she said brightly as she walked right into my apartment, her fancy purse swinging. I need to talk to you about something important. I kept folding clothes. Coffee's on. No time to chat. She sat down on my couch with perfect posture and her usual sweet but practiced smile. You know how my wedding is coming up first, right? She said. I've been thinking your wedding dress would be perfect for my garden wedding. You want my wedding dress? I asked. I set the towel down and turned to face her completely. Just to borrow it, she said quickly. You're not using it for months anyway. She leaned forward, eyes wide like she was trying to look sweet and innocent. Come on, ally. You know how much this means to me. Before I could say anything, there was another knock at the door. Of course.
Mom.
Rachel had brought back up. I figured I'd find you both here, Mom said as she walked in, holding a garment bag. Kelly, honey, I grabbed your dress from the closet at home. I thought we could do a quick fitting with Rachel right now. My throat tightened. They had already taken it, my dress, from my room at my childhood home. Without even asking, I stood still, frozen, as Mom unzipped the bag and revealed the beautiful ivory lace I had fallen in love with. Mom, I managed to say. You went into my room? Don't be so dramatic, sweetheart, she said. We're family. She held the dress up to Rachel, who was already slipping off her jacket. Oh, it's perfect, Mom said. Even better than on you, Kelly. The color looks amazing on Rachel's skin. I grabbed my phone and quickly texted Emma. SOS.
Come over now.
I haven't said yes, I said, but they weren't even listening. Rachel was already stepping into my dress, and Mom was helping her zip it up. Oh my God, Rachel said, spinning in front of the mirror. It's like it was made for me. You look absolutely stunning, Mom said proudly. Kelly, isn't your sister beautiful? I stared at the dress. My dress. The one I worked extra hours to buy. The one I dreamed about dancing in with Adam on my wedding night. Take it off, I said quietly. Rachel paused and turned to look at me.
What?
I said take it off. It's my dress. I bought it. It's for my wedding. Mom let out a sigh, the same disappointed one I've heard 1,000 times. Kelly, don't be selfish. Your sister needs it first. You know how important this is to her. Important to her? My voice got louder. What about what's important to me? Just once, can it be about me? You're being ridiculous, Rachel said, smoothing the lace down. It's just a dress. And, you know I'll take better care of it then. The door suddenly flew open. Emma stood there, taking in the scene with sharp eyes. What the hell is going on? She asked. Perfect timing, Rachel said with a smile. Peter, doesn't this dress look amazing on me? Emma didn't answer her. She walked straight to me and stood between me and my family. Mrs. Frank, she said firmly, with all due respect, that dress belongs to Kelly. You can't just take it. We're not taking it, Mom said quickly. We're just borrowing it. For family. Emma turned to me. Kelly, she said, her voice calm but strong. What do you want? I looked at my sister, glowing in my dress like it already belonged to her. I looked at my mom, who was always ready to defend her favorite. Then I looked at my best friend, the only person who ever truly saw me. And I said, keep it. I mean it, I said finally. Kelly, Emma started, but I cut her off. No, really.
Keep it, Rachel.
You always get what you want anyway, right? What's one more thing? Don't be dramatic, Rachel said, rolling her eyes. I'll give it back in perfect condition. I'm sure you will, I replied, meeting her eyes in the mirror. I hope it brings you exactly what you deserve. Mom clapped her hands cheerfully. That's the spirit. Now, Rachel, let's talk about the alterations. After they left with my dress, Emma turned to me. Please tell me you're not actually okay with this. I walked over to the window and watched as Rachel carefully placed my dress into her car. You know what's funny? I said. For the first time, I actually am okay. Because now I know exactly what I'm going to do. Emma raised an eyebrow. That look in your eyes is kind of scary, she said with a grin. I love it. So, what's the plan? I turned to her and smiled. How much do you know about garden fountains? Not much, she said, smiling back. But I'm ready to learn. We're not doing anything evil, I said, pulling out my laptop. Just fair. Didn't Rachel book the same garden venue where she ruined your Sweet 17? I asked. The one with the beautiful fountain in the center? Emma laughed. Oh my God. This is going to be good, isn't it? I started typing, my smile getting bigger. Let's just say the dress won't be the only thing that looks perfect on Rachel's big day. You want me to do what? Adam asked, staring at me from across the kitchen table, his coffee cup frozen halfway to his mouth. Just keep Henry busy during the rehearsal dinner, I repeated, handing him a piece of toast. Take him out for drinks afterward. That's it. While you and Peter mess with the fountain? He asked, setting his cup down carefully. Emma, sitting on our couch with her laptop, called out, Got it. The maintenance team checks the fountain every Saturday. That gives us 3 full days before the wedding to make our little adjustment. I squeezed Adam's hand. Trust me, we're not doing anything dangerous or illegal, just something fitting. Like when Rachel accidentally spilled punch on your dress at your Sweet 17, he asked, raising an eyebrow. Exactly like that, I said, pulling up a chair beside Emma. Now, show me what you found. She turned her laptop screen toward me. The fountain runs on a really simple system. We just need access to the control panel for about 20 minutes. And you know how to do this, how? I asked. My cousin's a landscaper, she said with a proud grin. I called in a favor. He walked me through everything, pressure valves, timing systems, all of it. We're not breaking anything. Just making a few changes. Adam leaned in to look at the screen. And by changes, you mean just a slight increase in water pressure, she said, winking. I explained the plan. It has to happen right when Rachel is standing in front of the fountain, saying her vows, then splash. Perfect, Emma said, finishing with a big grin. You're both crazy, Adam said, but I saw the corner of his mouth turn up. And I'm probably going to hell for thinking this is funny. My phone buzzed. A text from Rachel. Dress fitting tomorrow. Mom says you should come and support. Speaking of hell, I muttered, showing the message to them. Perfect, Emma said, sitting up straighter. While you're at the fitting, I'll check out the venue. The wedding coordinator already knows I'm your +1, so it won't be weird. I'll take Henry out for lunch, Adam added. Keep him away from the venue. Maybe I'll even suggest he plan photos near the fountain during the ceremony. I looked at him in surprise. You're in? He pulled me close and kissed my forehead. Babe, I've watched Rachel and your parents treat you like you don't matter for years. If this is what you need to do, I'm with you. Just promise me you won't go too far. I promise, I said, hugging him tight. It's just water. Expensive dress and water, but still just water. The next day, I sat in the bridal shop watching Rachel spin around in my dress. She had already had it altered. The lace now fit her body like a glove. It needs more sparkle, Mom announced. Maybe we could add some crystals to the neckline. Mom, no. I started, but Rachel was already nodding. Great idea. Nothing too flashy, just enough to make it shine. Kelly, you don't mind, do you? She asked. We'll pay for the changes. I thought about the fountain, about how everything would happen right on time, about karma. Whatever you think is best, Rachel, I said. It's your day, after all. My phone buzzed. A message from Emma. Venue scouted. You won't believe where they hide the control panel. This is almost too easy. Kelly, Mom said, snapping me out of my thoughts. Are you even paying attention? We're talking about the alterations. Sorry, I said with a sweet smile. Just thinking about wedding planning stuff. For next year, when I was supposed to wear that dress. Rachel's face changed for just a second. Maybe guilt? But then she smiled again like nothing had happened. Oh, please, she said. You'll find another dress. This one was meant for me. Just look at how perfect it is. She twirled in front of the mirror, the ivory lace shining in the light. And I had to admit, she looked stunning, like a princess in a storybook. Too bad the story was about to get a twist. Another buzz. Emma again. Got the timing. During the vows, stand by the east pillar. That's your cue spot. What are you smiling about? Rachel asked, adjusting her veil. Just thinking about your perfect day, I said honestly. I can't wait to see how it all turns out, Mom said happily, proud that I seemed okay with everything. That's the spirit, honey. Family first, right? Right. I nodded, typing a quick message to Emma. Everything set. Operation Karma is a go. I looked at Rachel as she admired herself in the mirror. I remembered every time she had taken something that belonged to me. Every time our parents picked her over me. In 2 weeks, she would have her perfect wedding in her dream venue, wearing my dress. But this time, I'd be the one in control. The night before the wedding, our family gathered at Mom and Dad's house for what Mom called a special dinner. I knew what that meant. Another evening all about Rachel. Remember Kelly's 7th birthday? Rachel said, laughing as she swirled her wine. When she tried to blow out my candles? They were my candles, I said, stabbing at my salad. It was my party. You just decided to blow them out too. Was it? Rachel frowned and looked at Mom. Wasn't that my party? Mom patted her hand. Oh, sweetie, does it matter? You girls shared everything back then. Shared, I muttered. Adam gently squeezed my knee under the table. Speaking of sharing, Dad said, raising his glass. I want to make a toast to my beautiful daughter on the night before her big day. Rachel, you've always been our shining star. I set down my fork with a loud clink. The room went quiet. Kelly, Mom said sharply, like a warning. No, go ahead, I said. Tell us more about your shining star. Like when she shared my prom date. Or when she took my college acceptance letter and showed it to her friends before I even got to see it. That was forever ago, Rachel said, waving her hand. Why are you being so dramatic? Dramatic. I let out a short laugh. You're wearing my wedding dress tomorrow. Girls, Dad said quickly. Let's not ruin the evening. My phone buzzed. A message from Emma. Everything's ready for tomorrow. You sure about this? I looked at my family, Dad pretending nothing was wrong, Mom doting on Rachel, and Rachel acting like she was completely innocent. I need some air, I said, pushing my chair back. Adam started to get up, but I gave him a small shake of my head. I needed to be alone. Outside in the backyard, I sat on the old swing set, the same one where Rachel once pushed me off, breaking my arm. Everyone had called it an accident.
Like they always did.
Penny for your thoughts? Dad's voice came from behind me. I turned. He stood there, hands in his pockets, looking awkward. Save it for Rachel's wedding gift, I said flatly. He sighed and sat down on the swing next to me. When you two were little, your mom and I thought we were doing the right thing. Rachel always needed so much attention. We figured you were the strong one, that you could handle being pushed aside. And that makes it okay? I asked. No, he said softly. It doesn't. We sat in silence. The chains on the swing creaked gently in the night air. That dress, he started to say. Don't, I said. I know. I bought it myself. I saw the receipts, Dad said, looking down. And the extra shifts you worked. He kicked at the dirt. I should have helped. Yeah, I replied. You should have. My phone lit up. It was Emma, sending the final timing for tomorrow. I thought about the fountain, about justice, about making things right. Dad, I said suddenly, do you remember my sweet 17? He flinched. The punch incident? Rachel said it was an accident. It wasn't, I said. She told me later she did it on purpose. She thought I was getting too much attention. He looked stunned. And now tomorrow, she's wearing my dress. The one thing I bought myself. The one thing that was only mine. I stood up. So tell me, Dad, what would you do? He looked at me for a long time. Something's going to happen tomorrow, isn't it? I met his eyes. Maybe it's time karma finally shows up. He nodded slowly, then pulled out his wallet and handed me a check. What's this for? I asked. For your dress, he said. The one you paid for yourself. No matter what happens tomorrow, you deserve your own perfect day. I stared at the check. My throat felt tight. Kind of late, don't you think? Better late than never, he said, trying to smile. Just be careful tomorrow, okay? Your mom's heart isn't what it used to be. I slid the check into my pocket.
Don't worry, Dad.
Everything will be exactly how it's meant to be. Back inside, Rachel was showing Mom her something borrowed, a diamond bracelet from Henry's mother. The sight of it made me want to scream. "Kelly," she called out. "There you are. I need you to help with my final fitting tonight. One last sister moment before the big day." I thought about the fountain, about karma, about Dad finally trying to make things right.
For a second, I hesitated.
Then Rachel added, "The dress might need a few more changes. You don't mind if we add more to it, right?" And just like that, my mind was made up. "Of course not," I said with a smile. "Tomorrow should be absolutely perfect." Across the room, Adam caught my eye and raised an eyebrow. I gave him a small nod. The plan was still on. Tomorrow, karma would show up right on time. The garden looked like something out of a fairy tale. White chairs lined the path to the altar, rose petals were scattered everywhere, and the fountain, the star of the show, gently flowed behind the wedding arch. "Everything's ready," Emma whispered, joining me in the bridal suite. I double-checked the timing. During Till Death Do Us Part, the fountain's going to put on quite a show. I watched Rachel spin in my dress, now covered in crystals and pearls she had added. Mom was adjusting her veil while the makeup artist touched up her lipstick. "You're being very quiet, Kelly," Mom said. "Everything okay?" "Just taking it all in," I said with a soft smile. I smiled and checked my phone. A text from Adam. "Henry's in place. Told him the fountain would be perfect for wedding photos." "Ladies," the wedding coordinator said, peeking into the room, "we're starting in 20 minutes. Everyone to your places, please." Suddenly, Rachel grabbed my hands. For a moment, she didn't look like the proud, spoiled version of herself. She looked nervous, like the real Rachel. I remembered when we were kids, building blanket forts, whispering secrets before things changed, before the competition, before Mom and Dad always chose her. "Kelly," she said softly, "you'll be right behind me, right? As my maid of honor?" "Right behind you," I said, pushing the memories away. "Where else would I be?" The music began. I lined up, watching each bridesmaid walk out one by one. As Emma passed, she gently squeezed my arm and whispered, "East Pillar, don't forget." Then came Rachel, glowing in my dress. Mom and Dad walked on either side of her. Guests gasped. It was the picture-perfect moment. I followed behind, counting my steps. The sun caught the water as it sprayed from the fountain behind the arch. Everything was exactly on time. The ceremony began, but I barely heard the priest. I was too focused on the water pressure, on how my dress sparkled on Rachel, on timing everything just right. "The couple has written their own vows," the priest said. Henry went first. His words were sweet and honest. For a moment, I almost felt bad for what was about to happen. Almost. Then Rachel began. "Henry, from the moment we met, I knew you were mine. Just like I've always known what I wanted and always gotten it." I looked at Dad in the front row. He gave me a small nod like he understood. "And I promise," Rachel continued, "to always be the center of your world." My phone buzzed. It was Emma's signal. I shifted to stand next to the East Pillar. "Till death do us part," the priest said. The fountain behind them changed slightly. A few guests looked back, hearing the new sound. "I do," Rachel said proudly, smiling. The priest opened his mouth to give the final blessing. 1, 2, 3. A giant burst of water shot high into the air. For a moment, it looked magical, sparkling like diamonds in the sun. Then gravity took over. The water came down like a mini rainstorm, soaking Rachel, Henry, and the people closest to them. My dress, her dress, turned from ivory to see-through in seconds. Her perfectly done hair collapsed. The crystals on the dress caught the light and made rainbow patterns as she screamed. "My dress," she shouted. "The fountain! Someone stop it." Everything turned to chaos. Guests jumped up, some ran, others tried to help. The wedding planner yelled into her radio, trying to reach maintenance. And I stood by the East Pillar, completely dry, watching it all unfold. "Karma," I whispered. "Where's the shut-off switch?" someone yelled. "This is awful," Mom cried, trying to cover Rachel with a tablecloth. Who would do this? I saw Emma hiding her laughter behind a flower arrangement. Adam, standing with the groomsmen, kept a straight face. Then Rachel suddenly turned toward me. Her makeup had run down her cheeks in black streaks. You, she said, pointing. You're the only one who's still dry. The fountain finally stopped, but the damage was already done. The dress clung to her body like wet paper. The fancy decorations she added hung limp and sad. What are you talking about? I asked, acting confused. It was just a random accident. Like how I accidentally spilled punch on your dress at your sweet 17, she hissed under her breath so no one else could hear. We stared at each other. Years of jealousy and anger between us boiled to the surface. She knew I did it. I knew she knew. And she knew I knew she knew. Well, I said quietly, I guess some things are just meant to be shared, right? You little. Rachel, honey, Mom interrupted, rushing over with more towels. Let's get you inside and dried off. We can still fix this. As they led her away, I heard her snap. I want Kelly out of here. Now. I looked over at Dad. He shook his head slightly, but there was a tiny smile on his face. The wedding coordinator came up to me, clearly stressed. We'll need about an hour to reset. Could you help direct the guests? Of course, I said sweetly. It's my sister's perfect day. What else could go wrong? Right then, thunder rumbled in the distance. I hadn't planned for rain, but sometimes karma adds her own touch. The next hour was pure chaos. The coordinator rushed around trying to move everything indoors. I stood under the venue's covered porch and watched the storm roll in. It wasn't just perfect timing anymore. It was like something out of a movie. Did you plan the rain too? Emma asked, walking up beside me with 2 glasses of champagne. That one's all Mother Nature, I said, taking a glass. But I do appreciate her dramatic flair. From inside, I heard Rachel crying loudly from the bridal suite. It's ruined. My dress is ruined. Everything is ruined. Speaking of dramatic, Emma muttered. Just then, the door flew open and Mom stormed out. Kelly, get in here right now. I handed my glass back to Emma. Showtime. The bridal suite looked like a disaster. My dress, now soaked and wrinkled, was crumpled in the corner. Rachel sat in her slip, crying into her hands, while 2 women tried to fix her hair. Fix this. Mom shouted at me. Fix what? I asked, calmly checking my nails. Don't act innocent, Rachel yelled, lifting her head. Her face was a mess of tears and mascara. You did this. You ruined my wedding. Did I? I said, tilting my head. Can you prove it? I don't need proof. You were the only one who didn't get wet. You were standing by the fountain smirking. Just lucky, I guess, I said with a shrug. Like when you accidentally spilled punch on my birthday dress. Or when my college acceptance email got deleted, by accident, of course. Or how about when you borrowed my prom date? I added. That was different. Rachel shouted, standing up so fast that hairpins flew from her hair. Those were accidents. Were they? I asked, stepping closer. Or was it always you needing to be the center of attention, always taking what's mine? Girls, Mom began. No, Mom, I said firmly, cutting her off. Let's finally talk about it. Let's talk about how Rachel took my wedding dress, the one I paid for with my own money, and how you helped her. Let's talk about how you both always take whatever you want from me because you think family shares and Rachel needs it more. I needed that dress, Rachel screamed. It was perfect. It was mine. Thunder boomed outside, making everyone jump. In the silence, we could hear guests whispering in the hallway. You want to hear something funny? I said, lowering my voice. I almost stopped it, right before the fountain went off. Watching you say your vows. I actually thought about calling it off. But you didn't, Rachel said through clenched teeth. No, I said, because you needed to learn something. You can't keep taking things that aren't yours and expect nothing to happen. Consequences? Mom's voice shook. Kelly, do you even realize what you've done? You've ruined your sister's wedding.
No, Mom.
I ruined her stolen moment. There's a difference. A knock came at the door. Dad peeked in. The guests are getting restless. What should I tell them? My wedding is ruined, Rachel cried, breaking into tears again. Oh, stop being dramatic, I said calmly, surprising even myself. Your dress is wet, not destroyed. The venue has dryers. You can still get married today, just in a damp dress. She screamed again. Better than no dress at all, I pointed out. Which is what I'll have for my wedding now. Dad cleared his throat. About that. I made a few calls. The boutique you bought your dress from? They're holding another one for you. It's a different style, but they said it might be even better than the first. Everyone turned to look at him. You what? Mom asked, shocked. It was the least I could do, Dad said, looking directly at me. After everything. Rachel looked between us, her expression changing. You knew, she said to Dad. You knew she was going to do this. I knew something was coming, he admitted. Can't say I blame her. This is insane, Mom said, her voice rising. We're family. We're supposed to support each other. Exactly, I said. Support. Not steal. Not always choose one over the other. Another knock. This time it was the wedding coordinator. The dryers are ready, and we've reset the ceremony indoors. It actually looks lovely with the rain outside. Should we begin? Rachel looked at her reflection in the mirror. Mascara smudged, hair a mess, my dress hanging wet on a hook. Then she looked at me. You know what, she said.
Yes.
Let's do it. She stood up straighter. Dry me off. Fix my makeup. I'm getting married. Then she turned to me. But Kelly, after today we're done. Sister or not, we're done. I nodded, feeling strangely light. Seems fair. Need help with your makeup? Get out, Rachel snapped. I turned to leave, then paused at the door. For what it's worth, Rachel, I really did love that dress. Outside, Emma was waiting with our rescued champagne. Well, the wedding will go on, I said, taking my glass back. But I think I just lost a sister. No, Emma said, gently tapping her glass against mine. You didn't lose a sister. You found yourself. The rain kept falling, like it was washing everything clean. The indoor ceremony went ahead as planned, though it wasn't the fairy tale Rachel had pictured. My dress, while mostly dry, had lost its shine. The added crystals hung awkwardly, and some were missing. Still, Rachel walked down the new aisle with her chin up, refusing to look at me. I stood at the back, no longer part of the wedding party. Adam had his arm around me, keeping me steady. You okay? He whispered. Before I could answer, Mom appeared beside us. Kelly, we need to talk. Not now, Mom. Yes, now. She grabbed my arm and pulled me toward an empty hallway. Adam started to follow, but I motioned for him to stay. How could you? Mom hissed once we were alone. She's your sister. That's funny coming from you, I said, leaning against the wall, feeling suddenly tired. When was the last time you actually treated me like your daughter? Not Rachel's backup. Not the reliable one. But your daughter? Don't turn this around on me, she snapped. You sabotaged her wedding. She's still getting married, I said. The only thing I ruined was her big moment in my dress. It wasn't stolen. It was borrowed. Without asking. Without my permission, I said. Just like everything else in my life. Mom's face fell. I don't understand where all this bitterness is coming from. You don't, I asked. You gave Rachel everything. I got whatever was left. And the worst part is you don't even see it. That's not true. Really? I said. When I got engaged, you barely reacted. When I bought my dress with my own money, you helped Rachel take it. Tell me, when was the last time you were proud of me? Just me. Not comparing me to Rachel. She opened her mouth, but said nothing. Then closed it again. Can't think of a moment, can you? From the ceremony room, we heard applause. The vows must have ended. Mom straightened her jacket. I hope you're happy. Your sister will never forgive you for this. Maybe not, I said. But for the first time, I forgive myself. For not being her. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm done trying to be the perfect sister. The one who always gives in. The daughter who stays quiet. I'm done being invisible. At the end of the hallway, Dad appeared. They're about to take photos, Kelly, he said gently. Maybe you should go. I nodded, but Mom grabbed my arm again. This isn't over, she said. Actually, it is, I replied gently, moving her hand away. I already called the boutique. They're holding a new dress for me. One that's only mine. Dad's right. It's time for me to go. You're leaving your sister's wedding? Mom asked.
No, Mom.
I'm choosing myself. Maybe for the first time ever. I walked toward the entrance, where Adam and Emma were waiting. Through the windows, I saw that the rain had stopped. Everything looked fresh and clean. Ready? Adam asked. Wait. Dad's voice called out behind us. He walked over and handed me an envelope. Your mom doesn't get it yet, he said. But I do.
Take this.
Inside was a check, enough to buy 2 dresses. Dad. Get whatever you want, he said, clearing his throat. Whatever makes you happy. And Kelly.
I'm sorry.
For everything. I hugged him tight, breathing in the familiar scent of his aftershave. I know, I whispered. Will you come to Thursday dinner next week? He asked. I don't think that's a good idea, I said softly. Not yet. He nodded, looking a little sad. We'll figure something out. Maybe just the 2 of us sometimes. I'd like that. As we walked to the car, I heard Rachel's voice in the distance.
Where is she?
She can't just leave. Watch me, I muttered. Emma hooked her arm through mine. So, suit shopping tomorrow? I smiled. Actually, yes. I think I'm going to wear a suit to my wedding. Something different. Something me. Adam laughed. Now that I'd love to see. As we drove away, I looked in the rearview mirror. The photographer was lining up Rachel's wedding party near the quiet fountain. I watched as Rachel adjusted my dress one last time, still trying to make a messy day look perfect. You know what's funny? I said as we turned onto the road. I feel lighter. That's what happens when you stop carrying everyone else's expectations, Emma said. My phone buzzed. A text from Dad. Proud of you, kiddo. Always have been. Maybe some things have to break before they can come together again. Maybe real revenge isn't revenge at all, just finally standing up and saying, enough. And maybe karma doesn't always punish. Sometimes it just sets things right. The bell above the boutique door chimed as I walked in, with Emma and Mom behind me. The tension between them was so thick you could feel it. I still think this is a mistake, Mom said, eyeing the suits on display. A bride should wear a dress. Good thing it's not your wedding then, I replied. A consultant came over, smiling. Hi, how can I help? I have an appointment to try on suits, I said. Mom sighed loudly and took a seat. It had taken 2 skip Thursday dinners, 2 deep talks with Dad, and 1 very loud phone fight before she finally agreed to come. Still, progress is progress, even if it comes with a lot of commentary. The consultant returned with a few suit options. I had just slipped into the first suit, a classic white tuxedo with smooth satin lapels, when the boutique door chimed again. Sorry I'm late, Dad called. Traffic was. He stopped mid-sentence when he saw me. He stared, wide-eyed. Wow, kiddo. You like it? I asked. He nodded, his eyes a little too shiny. You look like you. Finally. It's definitely different, Mom said, trying to keep her voice steady. Different is good, Emma said firmly. Different means this is really Kelly's choice. I turned to face the mirror and adjusted the jacket. No lace. No sparkle. No one else's opinion. Just me. Speaking of choices, Mom said carefully, Rachel asked about you yesterday. The room went quiet. I kept adjusting my cuffs, keeping my voice calm. Did she? She and Henry are back from their honeymoon. She mentioned, maybe meeting for coffee. Mom, I warned. I'm not pushing, she said quickly. I've just been thinking about what you said. About how we always chose her. About how we made you feel invisible. She twisted her hands nervously in her lap. Maybe you weren't completely wrong. I met her eyes in the mirror. Okay, she said softly. You weren't wrong at all. She stood and came beside me. Looking at you now, in this suit that fits you so well, I realize I never really saw you. I was so focused on who I thought you should be, who Rachel was, that I never took the time to understand who you actually are. Mom. Let me finish, she said. When you stood up for yourself at the wedding, it scared me. Not because of the fountain, though that was something, she added with a small smile, but because it was the first time I really saw you. And I realized how much I'd missed. Dad cleared his throat. We both did, kiddo. I turned from the mirror and faced them properly. So what now? Now, Mom said, gently taking my hand. We start over. If you'll let us. And if you want to meet Rachel for coffee, that's up to you. No pressure. No expectations. And no more taking things that aren't hers, I added. No more taking anything, Mom agreed. And she did say to tell you she's sorry for the dress and the punch and the prom date and the college letter. I laughed. That's quite a list. You made quite an impact with that fountain, Dad said, grinning. The consultant brought over another suit. This one had a soft, shiny pattern woven into the fabric that caught the light beautifully. Try this one, Emma suggested. It kind of reminds me of water. Everyone groaned, but I was already reaching for it. Too soon, she asked. Never too soon to own your moment, Dad said. As I changed, I heard Mom asking Emma about wedding plans, and actually listening. Dad chimed in with ideas about the venue. Maybe pick one without a fountain, he joked. For the first time, it finally felt like my wedding. My choices. My voice. And my family, they were finally seeing me. The new suit fit perfectly, like it had been waiting for me all along. And for once, I wasn't just standing in a room. I was seen. I realized something. Karma isn't always about revenge or punishment. Sometimes it's about ending old habits. About standing up for yourself and saying, see me. I turned to face everyone.
Well,
what do you think? It's perfect, Mom said. And this time, I could tell she really meant it. Just like you. So, does this mean I can wear a suit to Thursday dinner? I asked. Don't push it, she said, but she was smiling. My phone buzzed. A text from Rachel. The coffee offer is real. No drama, no competition. Just sisters if you want. I showed it to Emma, who gave a small shrug. Your choice, she said. It's always your choice now. I typed back. Maybe. But I'm ordering my own drink. Her reply came fast. Fair enough. I deserve that. I looked around the boutique, Mom actually helping, not controlling. Dad smiling with pride. Emma probably thinking up her next bit of mischief. And I realized something else. Maybe the best kind of revenge isn't revenge at all. Maybe it's just becoming the person you were always meant to be and letting everyone else catch up. I straightened my jacket. So, I said with a smile, about those wedding plans,